Hi everyone, welcome to yoga video number 5 with Fawn. That's me. Today I wanted to work on quieting our minds. It's one of the things that I struggle with, and I feel like maybe I'm not alone in that. So when you're going 100 miles an hour and life gets busy, or you're having trouble sleeping maybe, one of the things that is a great tool is to be able to quiet our minds. Sometimes for me, it's easier for me to do that when I'm moving, whether it's a moving meditation or a walk in the bush, which it's hard to do in -40, which it is today. So, and another way is through my yoga practice. So I thought maybe we would work on that today. So get yourself your area set up with your mat or a non-slippery surface. I have my blanket set up. I have a block nearby. If you don't have a block, a small low stool might be nice. A bolster if you have one. If you don't have a yoga bolster, a couple of firm pillows that maybe you could use to prop yourself up in a comfortable position during this practice, and maybe a strap might also be nice. If you don't have a strap, a belt might work as well. So let's take a moment, find all those things. If you're ready, we'll meet on our mats in our most comfortable seated position. For me, that is easy pose. For you, that could be deer pose, could be legs straight out in front of us. The goal here is to just find a position that we can be really comfortable in, to kind of set our intention for our practice today. So let's take a moment and do just that. Let's close our eyes. Maybe take a couple nice deep breaths. I like to start with an inhale through my nose and an exhale out my mouth, just to slow things down a little bit. I invite you to close your eyes. Maybe rest your hands on your knees here. All we're looking for here is our chin to be parallel to the floor, top of our head reaching upwards to the ceiling. We want to have our shoulders relaxed and down, and we want to be comfortable here. So let's do that. Just take a few minutes, turn your thoughts, your intentions inward, and now is a time that maybe you could set an intention for yourself, something that you could repeat over and over in your own mind. It could be something as simple as I am calm. It could be I am peaceful. I don't want to give away too many ideas. I want you to think maybe what you need today. Tune into what you need and make that your intention or your mantra for today. It could be sending out love to someone that needs it, someone that you're missing. Take a moment here and set your own intention, and just breathe. With our eyes still closed, we're going to slowly start to add some movement to our practice. So as we inhale, our arms are going to come overhead. As we exhale, we're going to touch palm to palm and bring our hands down through heart center. Inhale is going to find our hands overhead again. Exhale. Center. Do this a few more times, listening to your own breath. Let that be your guide. As we inhale, arms come overhead. As we exhale, palms touch And return those hands back down to heart center. This time as we breathe in, we're going to reach those hands overhead. As we exhale, we're going to take that right arm, reaching it down to our side. Maybe your palm is going to be on the floor. We're going to reach that left arm overhead and just tip over to the right. We're looking for a nice stretch all along our side body on the left side. If you're feeling that stretch right here, stay here. If you're not, I invite you to bend that elbow a little bit, just reaching your right side more towards the mat. Your gaze could be forward, or it could be down at your hand on the mat. Just take a few breaths here. Our next inhale is going to bring both hands up overhead again. And as we exhale, we're going to switch sides. So reaching that right arm high over our head, reaching towards the mat with our left palm. And as we exhale, we're going to tip our right arm over towards the left side, looking for that stretch all along the side body on our right now. If you're feeling it here, stay here. If you're not, bend that elbow, reach that elbow for the floor. If you can't quite reach the floor with your elbow, grab your block or your pillow and just rest your elbow on that. We don't want to be crunching too much on the left here. We want to try and keep our upper body stretching. And again, just feeling that nice stretch along the right. One more breath here. Our inhale will bring us right back up, both arms overhead, and hands, palms together. As we exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to remove my blanket and just take a moment to get my sit bones firmly planted. Maybe move some flesh out of the way. Give myself a little shimmy here. And we tend to have a preference on how we crisscross our legs. My preference is to have my right leg in front. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Hands come overhead. We're going to keep our sit bones firmly planted on the ground, and we're just going to tip at our waist, reaching forward, just walking our hands forward. Maybe your elbows rest on the floor. Again, maybe you want to have that little bit of elevation, so you could bring your block and put your elbows there. We're just looking for a nice gentle stretch to our hips here. If you're feeling like you need a little more support in this position, you can grab your pillows or your bolster, and you can use your props and just rest your head here. Again, all we're looking for is just a release in our hips here. So however your body can achieve that, that's where I want you to be. And just breathe into that, into those hips. I can feel it a little more in my right, because that's my leg that's in the front, than I can on my left. With each breath, you might find that you've got just a little more room to bring your body down more. I want to avoid any pinching or pain. Just looking for that release. If you do have the movement, the flexibility to bring your body down a little more with each breath, I encourage you to listen and do that. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then walk our hands back towards our legs, bringing ourselves back up to a nice neutral position, our easy pose. And I'm going to ask you now to switch those legs out. So let's straighten both legs out in front of us. And just remember, I had my right leg in front. So I'm just going to do a little shake here, maybe some windshield wipers before we do that again, but with that opposite leg in front. So I'm going to tuck my right first, and I'm going to have my left leg out. It does feel a little awkward to me. It might to you as well. Just take a moment, readjust, make sure the sit bones are back planted. And we're going to, on our next inhale, arms overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to bend at our waist. And again, finding the floor, whether that or a block. Looking for that nice stretch in our hips here. So I can feel it now more intensely in my left hip, now that my left leg is the one in front. Or you could, again, prop yourself up with that bolster, or even across your knees here. As long as you're getting that release in your hip, that's what we're looking for. Again, we don't want to feel any pinches. We don't want to feel any pain in our back. You may have to walk your hands a little closer if you're feeling that. And just breathe into that hip. With each exhale, you might find that you want to readjust and bring your body a little closer to the floor. Take 2 more nice breaths here. We're going to walk those hands back up, straighten our legs out in front of us, give our knees a little shake, a little pop here, and maybe let's do some windshield wipers. We are going to do bound angle, so, or butterfly pose. So I like to have the soles of my feet together here. I like to rock myself forward with my sit bones, sit up nice and tall. I like to have my hands together and tuck them underneath my feet here. Take a nice inhale and exhale. In this pose, we're looking for a nice opening on the inside of our hips now. If you're feeling that where you are in an upright position, great, wonderful, stay here. Close your eyes and just enjoy that. If you're not feeling that yet, you might want to take your elbows and just gently press your legs down towards my knees tend to pop up, so I'm going to just gently press down, not looking for pain, just looking for a little bit of resistance, and gently encouraging my hips to open a little wider. If
feels good, you can bring your upper body closer to your feet. We want to try not to round our back here, just bending at our waist, looking for that opening of the inside of our hips. I invite you to close your eyes and think back to your intention that you set at the beginning of our class. Just repeat that silently to yourself throughout your practice. Try and concentrate on your intention as a way to push out the lists that might be running through our minds. The thoughts that just keep running through our minds. Take 2 more nice deep breaths here. And we're going to release our feet. You can straighten your legs in front of you. And we're going to give those legs another little shake here. We're going to spread our feet so that we are hip distance apart. Do a little internal, external rotation of our hips again. So what that's gonna look like is toes together and toes apart. We wanna be careful of our knees here and just concentrate on our upper thighs. That's where this movement is coming from. It's not coming from our feet. It's not coming from my knees. I'm using my thigh muscles to pull my feet apart and bring my feet together. So I can really feel this movement in my hips more than my knees. If you're feeling it in your knees, kind of just take a moment and readjust. Feet together and then pull them apart. We'll do one more here. Pull them apart. Give those legs a little shake. And let's spread those feet just a little bit wider than hip distance. And we'll do that again. Internal, external. Internal rotation to external. And again, now I can feel that a little more. I can feel it still in my outer hips, but I can also feel it in my inner thighs. Not feeling any pain or twisting in my knees at all, because that movement is coming from my upper legs. And one more here. Great. Give it a little shake. And we'll take our feet as wide as that's comfortable for us. And we'll do a few more. So toes can maybe reach for the ground together. And then pull them apart. Now I'm really feeling that. My inner thighs as well as in my outer hips here. So toes together and apart. If you're feeling any pain or pinching in your back or knees, maybe those legs are too far, and bring them back in and just readjust. Toes together and apart. Great. One more here. Give Give them a shake. And we'll walk her back in. And let's just take a moment here. Close our eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Return our thoughts back to our intention. Notice the work that we've done for our hips so far. Maybe they're feeling a little warmer. Maybe our legs are feeling a little more alive than when we started. I invite you to open your eyes, and we are going to meet in tabletop. So, tabletop. Take a moment here if you've got knee issues. And let's get that blanket under your knees. We're not going to be here very long. We're just going to do a few cat-cows. So in tabletop position, our knees are going to be hip distance apart. Our hands are going to be shoulder distance apart. We are going to imagine a hot cup of coffee or a bowl of soup resting on our back. So we don't want to have a dip, and we don't want to be too far up just yet. So let's find our tabletop. We want to imagine that we could push our hands right through the floor, so I can feel that push in my shoulder blades, between my shoulder blades here. So pushing through our mat. Our head is going to be nice and straight. Our neck is going to be neutral. I'm not going to be holding it too tight here. So from tabletop, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to drop our belly, reaching our tailbone up towards the sky. And if it feels okay, we're also going to reach our chin out in front of us into cow. As we exhale, we're going to tuck our tailbone back under. We're going to drop our head, reaching our upper shoulders high as an angry cat would, really pushing our shoulder blades towards the ceiling. As we inhale, we're going to go back to cow. So sit bones reaching for the ceiling, our belly dips, and our chin reaches in front of us, as long as we're not feeling any pinching in our neck. So we exhale up to cat. Tuck our pelvis, tailbone pushes almost forward, straight down. Our hips push forward, and our upper back really reaching for the ceiling. My core is also engaged in this position. We're going to inhale back into cow. So use your own breath as a guide as we do a few more of these. As we exhale into cat, inhale into cow. One more here. So inhale into cow. Might feel nice to hold your breath here for one more second. And then exhale into cat. I'm going to release down into a child's pose. I'm going to move my blanket out of my way. My tailbone is going to reach for my heels here. My sit bone's reaching my heels. I'm going to walk my upper body down, reaching for the mat. Might feel nice to have those knees wide so you can make a hole for your upper body to come down. If the floor is not accessible to you at this time, grab your bolster and you can come down on that. That feels wonderful. I'm going to take a few breaths in child's pose. You can have your hands straight out in front of you, or you could tuck them back down by your ankles. And when you're ready, no rush at all. We're going to come back up to tabletop. Just take a couple breaths in tabletop before we come back to standing. And then reach that left foot between our hands. We're going to come up to a high lunge, so tucking your toes on our back leg. Take a moment here. We're looking for maybe a 90 degree in that front left knee. And if you're nice and stable here, you could have your hands tented. If you're ready, you can start to come up. Hands can be on our knees. And if we're happy here and we've got that nice neutral pelvis, you can bring those arms up overhead, but only as high as we can without adding that back bend. So for me, looks like about right here. Take 2 more breaths in our high lunge, our left leg forward. We're going to bring our hands back down to the mat, bring that back leg up between our hands, just standing forward fold. And we're going to inhale, slowly reaching all the way overhead. It might feel nice here to grab opposite elbows and just, so right hand grabs, sorry, not opposite elbows, right hand grabs left wrist. Just give it a little tip to the side, to the right. Like a nice stretch again along that side body on the left. Inhale, arms overhead, and then switch arms. So left wrist, left hand to right wrist, and just reach. Let those go. Arms come overhead. As we inhale, as we exhale, we're going to fold to the waist into a forward fold. And we're going to step back with that left foot. So our right foot now is in between our hands. And we're going to do a high lunge on the other side. So my back toes are up on the balls of my left foot. And my right foot is firmly planted between my hands. I find my balance here, my stability, and when I'm feeling safe and secure, I'm going to bring my upper body up. So start with your hands on your knee. That feels good. I'm going to bring those hands up again, only as high as we can without that bend in our back. We're going to engage our core. Feel my legs firing up here. Into our high lunge on the right. Release those hands. Hello, Minnie. Hello, little girl. And bring that back foot up to meet the right. Release to our forward fold. We're going to do a halfway lift, so our hands are going to trail up towards our knees. Have a nice flat back here. And as we exhale into forward fold, inhale all the way to standing, reaching for the ceiling, and exhale, hands to heart center.
We're gonna do a little balancing here now, guys. So if balancing is an issue right now, I encourage you to move closer to a wall. You can use a wall for support as we try and do a tree pose. So we're gonna start out in a mountain. So for me, mountain pose is toes together, ankles together, knees together. That doesn't work for everybody. Take a minute and see how your mountain pose feels best. Maybe you want to be hip distance apart. Maybe you want to take a moment and lift, there goes my strap, and lift your toes up and plant them one at a time. Because mountains are strong and moving. My quads are going to be lifting my knees up in this position. So there, my legs are engaged. My eyes are closed. My palms are facing forward. My chin is parallel to the floor. The top of my head is reaching for that ceiling again. Just take a moment here. If balancing is not cooperating with you today, you can keep your eyes open here. But if you do want to challenge yourself, I invite you to close your eyes and just notice. Does your body want to sway with your eyes closed? Or are you standing strong and tall like a mountain? Our core is engaged. Our kneecaps are pulling up. Our calves are working. Our glutes are working here. From here, we're going to open our eyes. And we're going to start with that right foot, that right knee. I invite you to bring it up. And then open. And just find that place where your foot feels most comfortable. It could be down here. Again, you could be up against a wall, or you could bring it up a little higher. And find your balance here in tree pose. Might feel nice to have cactus arms. Might feel nice to bring those arms up overhead. Palms touch. You want to be careful here not to have that hip pop too far out to the side. You want to have a nice straight tree trunk. And take one more breath here. Release that leg back down. Release our arms. Give them a little shake. And inhale. And exhale. Hands through heart center. We'll do tree on the other side. So take a moment. Ground our right leg this time. As we inhale, we're going to bring up that left leg. Open our hip. And find our placement for that foot. Could be down here. Could be down here. Or you could walk it up a little bit. And again, you want to watch that hip. You want it to be popping out. This whole leg is fired right up. My standing leg, my right leg. It feel nice to inhale those arms overhead. And find the arm position that works best for you. It could be prayer overhead. It could be cactus arms. You could find prayer behind your back. Your glute is firing. Your right trunk is firing. Take one more breath here. And release. Take a nice deep breath in. Arms overhead. And we're going to bend our waist into a forward fold. And just take a few breaths here. In our forward fold.
It might feel nice to grab opposite elbows. Maybe we want to bend our knees a little bit here. We're looking to have our chest resting on our thighs. And we want to release any and all tension that we might be feeling in our neck and shoulders here. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows. If you're feeling that nice stretch along the back of our legs here, wonderful. That's what we're looking for. If you're not feeling that yet, you can always grab the back of your calves and just encourage your upper body to come down a little bit more, and that can intensify that stretch along the back body here. As we inhale, we're going to come up ever so slowly into standing. I want to do one last thing before we move down to our mats and start to slow our practice down even more. I've had the privilege of attending a Qigong practice with my friend Stacey Richardson, who I had the privilege of taking my yoga teacher training alongside. And it's called water waves. So this was a way that really connected for me to quiet my mind in more of a moving meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes. You maybe want to have your feet hip distance apart. You can keep your eyes open just as I show you what it looks like. We're going to imagine that we're standing in whatever our favorite body of water is. It could be your favorite spot at the lake. It could be a hot holiday standing in the sand, in the ocean. I want you to really imagine your favorite body of water. And I know in February that is something that I am longing for. So really take that time and find your favorite body of water. Imagine that we're standing up to our waist in our favorite water. And we're gonna just slowly move our hands from side to side as if they were just playing in the water at that hip width depth. Just running them across the water. And while we're doing that, imagine the sun on our faces on this beautiful warm spot. Sometimes I tend to move my knees or my hips almost like in a hula. Just listen to your body and move as if you would in that flowing warm water. And as we do that, return your mind back to your intention that you set at the start of your practice. As we do our waterways, just moving your body from side to side, your upper body from side to side. Bringing your hands in front of you, just tickling the water with your fingers. Meditation is a wonderful way to calm our minds and our bodies, to quiet the constant running in our minds. And for me, to have that little bit of movement, moving meditation, really works for me. Just give this one a try for a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds. And slow that movement down, just ever so slightly. Just just lower from side to side, keeping them maybe just in front of us now, not so much a twist, until we finally find stillness again in a mountain pose. I invite you to close your eyes here. Just check back in. Check back in with your intention. Check back in with your breath. When you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes. We're going to move this practice down to the floor. So if you need to grab a drink of water or maybe a sweater, we're going to slow our movement down before Shavasana. We're almost at the end of the practice. So grab what you need to be comfortable and meet you back on your mat. Hopefully my puppy will move out of the way. Hi, Winnie. She likes this quiet practice. And every time I did a Qigong practice with Stacy, my puppy fell right asleep by the end of it. I really enjoyed that. And so did she. Okay. So we're gonna find ourselves sit. Please don't eat that. Here we go. Hey. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna find ourselves with our feet planted on the floor. We're gonna sit up nice and slowly here, and we're just gonna turn our palms up, and we're just gonna go into boat only for a few seconds. So you might wanna lift just one foot off the ground to start. If that works okay, you can lift the other. We wanna find that place between our sit bones and not quite our lower back. Bringing those shins parallel, palms can face up. And again, feet can be down, that's okay. If you need to hold on to the back of your legs, that's okay too. Listen to your body. This is half boat. If you want to just, if you're not feeling that core firing up, you can always lift those, straighten your legs out, point your toes. Release ever so slowly down to canoe, and then just release. That's it. That's all we're going to do for our core today. So let's find ourselves down on that. We're going to take those knees and give them a hug, rock from side to side to release that lower back completely. We're going to do a reclined twist. So you can hug those knees in. You can cactus your arms from side to side. And we're going to drop our knees over to the side. I'm going to
Use our core muscles to bring those knees back up. Give them a little hug here. Might feel nice to grab our feet on the outside of our feet and do a happy baby here before we move over to the other side. So just rocking side to side. Might feel nice to straighten one leg and bring it back. Straighten the other. Or straighten both. Release that happy baby. Hug your knees in. And then we're going to bring our knees to the opposite side. So again, just take a moment here. You need to put that bolster under your knees. If you need to do that twist and maybe lift maybe lift your hips before you bring them back down. Reaching your left arm straight out in a T position or cactusing. Find your reclined twist on the opposite side. Your gaze is going to be straight up at the ceiling, or for a little more of a twist, you can turn your head towards the opposite way that your knees are going. So my head is going towards my left side, my knees are right. I invite you to close your eyes.